Welcome to this basic guide to Instagram for your music venue. My name is Emil and I'm a digital specialist here at the creative agency Volume, where I help music organizers with their online marketing efforts. And one of the frequent subjects when I help music organizers with online marketing is Instagram. It seems like music venues haven't really figured out how to work with Instagram in a consistent manner. Right now we're seeing amazing results across our campaigns on Instagram, and the platform has some really amazing features in order to engage your audience. This video is going to focus on how to make the most of Instagram and what kinds of features you should be using in order to grow your audience and boost your ticket sales. So let's get into Instagram. So let's take a closer look at Instagram. I've split this video up into 5 parts, which can explain what Instagram is and what some of the general concepts that makes the app useful and fun to use for music venues are. So we're going to go into why it's important to think about visual content when you're posting on Instagram, and also why it's important to be current and how you can do that. We're going to go into some features that is used to engage the people who are following you. We're going to go into how you can be playful and also how you can collaborate with other accounts and become part of the community on Instagram. So let's start off by looking at the visual side of Instagram. Unlike Facebook that has the ability to use links as a content format, Instagram is very reliant on pictures and video, which makes it an app that prioritizes visual content. So where you can see Facebook as sort of the town square where everything is gathered in one app, such as groups, events, games, and links, etc. Instagram is more like the cool art gallery, which means we need to change our behavior when we go from Facebook to Instagram. If we look at Vega's profile here, we can see that they have a consistent feed with a lot of visually pleasing pictures of musicians on their stages. The colors used throughout the pictures are consistent and you get a real view of the vibe of the venue when you're scrolling down the feed. They don't use a lot of graphics but stick to the pictures with an emphasis on human faces. And this is actually a good idea. In 2014, a study from Georgia University of Technology found that pictures with human faces are 38% more likely to receive likes than pictures without. The visual content concept also implies that everybody is looking to create visual content that is compelling, including the attendees at your show. So you need to ask yourself, is there somewhere at your venue where your audience can take a picture for their feed? Can you make like a sort of a photogenic wall or nudge them to take pictures some other way? This will create word of mouth from your followers and gain you that exposure that you need in order to grow on Instagram. Moving on to the current content concept. Instagram is called Instagram for a reason, as it's built to share moments instantly. And this was further emphasized with the introduction of the Stories format on Instagram. Stories is a very popular feature where users share moments of their lives to the Stories feed, which can then be seen by their followers for 24 hours before they vanish. Stories has become so big, in fact, that it's a huge part of human culture, really, and it creates headlines like these. You know, how Instagram Stories has changed dating forever, and it's really just a very big part of how people interact and how we're keeping up with our friends' daily lives nowadays. So the Stories format can, of course, also be used by you guys to create content that is more current and sort of like in the now. So inside the app, in the upper left-hand corner, you will see a button called Your Story. If you press this, you get into the story framework, and you can see it's me here. And in the bottom, you can see that there's different kinds of stories to make. If we swipe left here, we can go to the type section. And this is where you can use text only to create your message. So we could type in something like free. And if you press on the top of the screen, you can change the design of the text, different styles. And in the left corner here, you can change colors. Scroll over here, you can go live. That's a total tutorial video in itself, so we won't go too much into this. But if we go to normal, see I'm back here, we can either just take a picture or make a video, and I will just start by taking a picture. So there's a couple of things we can do with this picture. We can put some text on it and say, hey. Again, we can change the style here. And when that's done, we can move it around, make it bigger. If we swipe right, there's different kinds of filters we can use. If we press the pencil up here, there are different kinds of pens that we can use to draw on my face. Just draw a crown here. If we press this sticker button here, you can add things like the location we're at, or like a hashtag. We'll use swag for this. Some of the other features I'm going to get back to as we move along, but as you can see, the stories feature really makes the app be a place of instant and very current moments in people's lives, and it's very easy to quite fast make changes and make something creative on the go. And that's why it's exciting to be there, because you can sort of follow along in people's lives, and they can give it that extra piece of creativity inside the stories feature. So I think that stories would be a great place to showcase behind the scenes content when your artists arrive and set up, just to get people even more excited for your shows, give the audience a glimpse of what is going on backstage. I would highly recommend you just playing around with these different kinds of features and just working out what works for you guys. Moving on, let's look at the engaging content concept. Instagram is great for engaging people. This is primarily due to a lot of features connected to the Instagram Stories feature, as we just went through, and very much due to what is known as interactive stickers. Interactive stickers are functions that you can put on top of your content that makes you able to engage with your followers in different ways. Let's take a look at some of them. First of all, you can use the feature called polls, where you can ask people questions. And this is great for engaging people, but also for gaining valuable data from your community. So inside the app, we go to the right-hand corner and find the stickers where we were before. You can see here there's a sticker called poll. When we press that, we can ask a question. So let's say we're considering booking Ed Sheeran for our venue. Then we could do a post about Ed Sheeran here and ask people if they want to see him at our venue. So do you want to go see Ed Sheeran? Press done here, and we can place it wherever we want. And of course, this could also be for new initiatives in the wardrobe or the bar that we test out here to see if our audience think it would be a good idea. A similar feature is the meter feature, where you ask people how much they love something. So again, if we want to test the waters on a new feature or an artist that we want to book, we could post a question and get a feel for it here. You find that here. You could ask, how much do you love Ed? And the audience would be able to slide this emoji back and forth on the meter and give us an indication of how much they love Ed Sheeran. If we wanted more qualitative data, we could use the question sticker and ask people to answer a question. Here, like, and then the audience would be able to type something a bit longer. So that would give us some interesting answers that we can then repost and kind of start the conversation afterwards. Now the last one I want to show you is the quiz function. This makes you able to run competitions through the app. So let's say we want to do a competition for our Ed Sheeran show. We can add a quiz here. And let's say we want to ask a question like what... And then we can add some options here. So, and I know that that is Christopher, so we can set that as the right answer, and we can go done. And this makes people able to answer that question. So I hope you can see the possibilities of how you can engage your community through these engaging functions. But let's move on to the next concept, which is the playful content concept. Instagram is a very playful app, and it has features that are both funny and entertaining. And this makes the app a super fun place to be, and again, it makes it easy for users to do something creative on the go with the help of some of the filters and functions we're going to go through now. So first of all, we have boomerangs. Boomerangs are short videos that loop themselves, creating like a GIF-like video, like the skate video I've recorded from YouTube here. And this is great if you can capture a significant movement, and it helps to make ordinary selfies more visually appealing to watch. So definitely play around with the boomerang feature and see what you can create here. Another fun feature that Instagram has is the use of face filters, which, just as you might have seen from Snapchat, makes you able to apply things like glasses, hats, animal ears, and more to your selfies and videos. They are responsive to your face, and some even open up for different kinds of movement as you move your face around or make certain expressions. And face filters can be applied to both photos, videos, boomerangs, and more, so I would recommend you trying out some of them and just seeing if some of them works in your content mix. Super zoom is another feature that adds extra dramatic effect to your content without having to spend hours on difficult motion graphics. Basically, a super zoom will automatically zoom in on your content, complete with dramatic music and different graphic effects. So if you want to do a dramatic close-up effect of something, try the super zoom function out. So this was a couple of examples on how Instagram works with playful content features. Now let's move on to the last concept, which is the collaborative content concept. Many venues does not understand how they can grow on Instagram, since it is a more closed environment than Facebook. But understanding the collaborative content concept can help you grow by working together with other accounts, and there's a couple of strategies here that I want to show you how to do that. First of all, you need to participate in mentioning and shouting out other profiles. Getting tagged in return by other profiles will be super valuable for you in order for you to grow your followers. So this is why you should provide all artists with pictures from the concert so they can shout you out on Instagram immediately after. You can start off yourself by mentioning other people, either by tagging them in your feed or by mentioning them on your stories by using the mention sticker. If you mention them on your story, they will have the ability to immediately post your post to their stories feed, which exposes you to a new audience instantly. Another tactic to get shoutouts is the Instagram takeover concept. Here you ask another profile to take over your Instagram account and post there for some days or maybe even a week. So this could be the artists that are coming to your venue, or a volunteer working at your venue, or even an audience member getting ready for the show that night. Having them shout out your profile will create awareness around your profile, and you'll have exciting behind the scenes content that is very easily produced because you're not doing it yourself. Here it is the Danish songwriting program Lydkanten who've done a takeover strategy where they have the songwriters that are attending the program share their process of writing songs, which is relevant content to the followers of that profile, but also make sure that the songwriters are shouting the program out into their networks and then gaining traction that way. Another great way to work collaboratively with Instagram is by reposting other people's content to your feed and stories. Every time, as I mentioned before, you're mentioned in a story, you'll get a direct message in the app that allows you to repost that person's story. But if you want to repost in the Instagram feed, there is not a dedicated way to do this inside the Instagram app, so you'll have to use a third-party app like Repost, which makes it easy to repost other people's content. This can be downloaded to your phone. So this is just a good way of stimulating that people talk about you online by showcasing what other people are saying about you and mentioning them in the process. So to sum up, when working with content on Instagram, remember these 5 concepts that we've gone through in this tutorial. Being visually appealing, being in the now and current, and being engaging, playful, and collaborative in your approach will help you have success on this app. So good luck playing around with it. I hope this video has opened your eyes to the possibilities of Instagram. And if you want to see more like this, you should visit the Pulse website, where you can find inspirational articles, videos, and information